Hi, loves. I wanted to make a video to share as to why I feel that astrology has such great relevance and value at this point in time. And I know that we all know this. Like, I see just how much more, not even acceptable. It's just that people understand astrology so much more. Like it's really expanded even just in the mainstream elements of understanding what astrology is and how it benefits our lives. However, I still just want to share through my experiences with people, and how deeply insightful and how it impacts lives in ways that it's just so reverberating. Astrology and a really good astrology reading can open you up in ways that you had no idea that you were capable of opening up towards. And so, astrology, I have not always been an astrologer in terms of an occupation, but astrology has been a part of my life for a very long time. Like I was about 12. So, that was over 30 years ago that astrology first came into my life in a very impactful way. And then, progressively more and more until, my Uranus opposition, early 40s. It's a huge experience in your life. And that's when, and with the total social climate as well, like needing to find an occupation to do online as well at home was very important to me. So this happened divinely. And I would say, probably, well, when I moved to Victoria, like I had lived in Regina, and that's where I met my teachers. And I learned through them for a good 15 years. They taught me so much about astrology. And I studied on my own as well. But then when I moved out to Victoria, and didn't have my teachers anymore for one thing. So, and I was just developing in ways and finding books that, I had never heard of before, like Dane Rudyard, that just totally blew my mind, opened me up towards astrology in a whole different capacity. So that was hugely, life-changing in terms of my relationship with astrology. And then I was working in an atmosphere that was really social, meeting a lot of interesting people and talking astrology, and then people asking me to read their charts. So that's how it all kind of began, was people just requesting for me to do this, and then I did, and it was great, and I was learning so much, and but I don't know if I had considered astrology to be my occupation, but then it just happened, and I am so glad that it did, because wow, the impact that I've seen with offering astrological guidance, offering astrological wisdom, teaching people how to understand their astrological essence, on a deeper level, is also so fulfilling. Helping people navigate through transits, that to me is one of the most fascinating aspects of astrology, is like big initiatory events such as a Saturn return or a Uranus opposition. These times in life create just like change that changes the course of your life. They really do. And so I love to be involved with people who are going through these big things. I want to cheer people on, and allow them to go through it completely, but yet knowing that you're going through it, whereas if you're going through transits unconsciously, you're not getting the same level of awareness around the growth that you're reaching for. We can be much more intentional with our lives, and it serves us to be. I know there's I know a lot of people who are very resistant to intentional living, being very intentional about what you want. People just want to float along and let things happen. And yet these ways can be very helpful and divinely inspired. And astrology also offers such an amazing opportunity to work with the cycles that we are currently, living in, basically. So I feel that it really enhances awareness and the potential to grow in ways that that you just wouldn't have even dreamed of before. That's what astrology really opens up. It, there's two different kind of ways that I have found to be astrology so, important for my own self-development. So one way is the understanding of the personality. And with astrology and the way that I read charts, and maybe this is the way most astrologers do, but with the understanding that the personality is not just this totally static thing. It's an ever-changing alchemical experience, because you go through things in your life, such as, say, a transit or a very big experience that changes you. It changes your chemistry. And so you're no longer the same person, even though you're exactly the same person. And so elements of the personality grow and expand, and sometimes even contract, depending on, the experience that you've had. If it was, empowering and uplifting, or if it was traumatic and difficult. So, I don't like to read the chart in terms of it being like, this is who you are, but always, this is your potential. This is who you are becoming. That's one thing, even about the sun sign, that I don't think a lot of people understand, is that the sun sign is a progressive experience of becoming. It is not that you are a Libra or are a Capricorn. It is that you are becoming a Libra with every conscious choice that you make. It's the hero's journey. It's the development of self. It's the development of ego, is what the sun is. It's not just who you are. We have to actively participate in our lives in order to, reach the great destiny. And so, that's another aspect from my perspective. I do evolutionary astrology. So we always look at the nodes of the moon, and we look at Pluto as well. And this gives insight into past lives and also your past in this lifetime, because your past in this lifetime will reflect your past lives. Because up until you are consciously aware that you are here and that you are creating your reality, and therefore now consciously creating your reality and not unconsciously creating your reality. So there's a difference. It's about waking up, and we're hearing this word a lot right now because it's happening, and perhaps I hope that you have had these experiences too, of waking up to the truth of things and to the understanding of your true and destined potential, and not just the same old thing happening over and over again, the same old repeat. And that's the south node. It's the same old repeat, and it's not really working anymore. And so we have to go into the north node, which there can be a lot of resistance towards our medicine, but still, to understand what that is so helpful, to understand the storyline of all of this, and then how it's playing into your current reality. And that's when we look at the sun and Mercury and Venus and Mars in your chart, and then understand, the playing field for this current lifetime. And all of these things mixed together, because to understand the personality in an expanded point of view, helps you to gain self-confidence and self-acceptance. Bottom line, like you learn so much about yourself and come into alignment with who you are, rather than judging yourself for something that, you know, somebody on the playground said to you when you were a kid about, like a judgment or some kind of criticism that really stuck with you. That was really about, it was your greatest like gift or destiny. But, this experience happened, and on some level, it had to. However, it's about now, taking your power back and realizing that that these events happened in order for you to develop and strengthen yourself, not to ever, like, really, from a universal perspective, it was never to damage you. It was always meant to just teach you and help you develop and grow. So yes, self-acceptance, self-love, just an amazing awareness of who you are and your potential. And then to understand your destiny and your dharma and your reason for being here, and even how you can get there is also something we talk about in a reading. It's not just about like where you're going, but how are you getting to that point? And another big passion of mine within astrology is transits. I was talking about like initiatory experiences, Saturn return, Uranus opposition. Those are big, the two big ones that are like really life-changing. Even a Chiron return, I would say, would be, also so impactful. And then to understand that these planets have cyclical movement, and say for Saturn, for the planet Saturn, and how it's interacting with your chart with a transit. This happens every 7 years in terms of Saturn transiting Saturn, aspecting your Saturn in your chart. And so every 7 years you have this ability to make big decisions around like taking more responsibility. That's what Saturn wants. It wants you to understand your capacity, and to build structures and to build a legacy and to, really create even like an ego, like really it's about the third dimensional experience. If you're not aware of these transits happening, then sometimes, people, they take on too much responsibility in moments like that, out of compensation or different fears that, are running the show, rather than understanding and being realistic. So taking on too much and then getting like buried, or even taking on too little and not allowing yourself the opportunity to grow. But if you can see your life from a clear perspective of like, oh, this is like a test and a challenge right now. I'm being tested, because it can feel like life's coming at you and all these things are happening to you, when really it's all happening for you and it's happening because of you. And, another thing about astrology that I think is worth mentioning is that astrology is not an outside influence. It's not that, the planets up above are like, radiating all of these energies onto us and therefore making us do things, out of our, like our will. It's the saying, as above, so below, is so applicable to understand the relationship that we have with the stars. And it's that, that there is a macro to the micro, as it just continues down into the tiniest cell. But that tiniest cell also contains the entire universe. We are the universe. We are stardust. Like our blood, our DNA, our makeup is from the stars. This is not something outside of us. Everything is connected in this reality, every single thing. And so as the planets are moving in relation to your cosmic kind of like stargate, That's like your birth chart, but that's, it's your cosmic stargate. Like that's what you were birthed out of into this reality, is like an exact latitude and longitude that was chosen, like the numerology behind your birth portal at the time that you were born, the date that you were born, the latitude and longitude of the city or town that you were born in. Like this is like a magical experience that we're talking about, like the birth, and then the chart itself is the cosmic roadmap. It can help you with a blueprint. It's something that can help you navigate through this experience. It's not that, people think, but I'm beyond astrology. And I understand where you're coming from. I really do. However, I also see that there's no just getting out of this. We have to understand how to work with 3D. We're not going anywhere. We have to, in order to get to where that place is we want to go, we have to understand our relationship to this planet and this experience. And that does happen through understanding your cosmic orientation and your destiny, and the chart is the roadmap to gain like so many tools, so many understandings and insights that help you to develop in ways that it would take so long. You'd have to go to therapy for years. You can do honestly like 2 months of work with me, and it's like years of therapy. We get right into the core of things. It's magical. It's so much fun. It really is. I want to make it fun to heal. I want to make it fun and, expansive for people to, really step into their power. So yeah, these are all things that I feel very passionately about. And I myself am just like overjoyed that I have come into astrology, that it's in my life and has helped me to understand my destiny as well, and my destiny point, and my gifts, my challenges, and how to, like really do this human thing. And that's what I would love to offer you, working with you in any capacity. I work with people in a lot of different ways. So, reach out if you feel the call. And, if we have done work together already, you know how much I appreciate you and like adore each one of you, and respect you for this chosen incarnation, because we're here to do some very powerful work. I think we can see this, like there's a lot of craziness happening, and we have to work on ourselves. It really is just like do the work, want to see, want to heal, want to evolve, and not just for you, but for the well-beings of all things, plant, animal, rock, bug, microbe, like for the health and well-being of all things. Your dedication to your path, your journey, your healing, your awakening, your empowerment, your radiance benefits all beings. Yeah, so I love you lots, and I really, I'll be doing more videos and sharing stuff such as this. And if you want to contact me, you can visit my website. There's an email address there, and that's www.sacredalchemy.com. And lots of love. Bye-bye.